Okay, I finally got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I'm gonna finally start streaming now. I got Tactics, the remake, when it came out, but I still haven't played it, haven't even really touched it. And I promised that I was gonna play through it. I recently got a PlayStation 5 Pro and Rebirth. So after making a 4-hour long theory video about it more than a year ago, I'm finally gonna play it. Now, Tactics was the first ever RPG game that I played. Got it when I was 9 years old. My dad got us a PlayStation 1 for Christmas. And Tactics, because he was kind of a nerd, he introduced me to a lot of games. Baldur's Gate 2, Warcraft 2, and StarCraft. I don't know if he had ever played Final Fantasy games, but he just heard that they were good. He played Dungeons and Dragons and stuff when he was younger. And so, when I was 9, he got us PlayStation 1 and Tactics. And this was the first RPG game. And it whooped my ass. This was an extremely tough game for a 9-year-old. But it had a huge impact on me. Partly because the story was so serious. But also just because it was extremely difficult. But also just because it was ridiculously well made. I think Tactics, out of any game ever, probably has the best ability animations and spell animations and things out of any game. A lot of that has to do with how the sound lines up with the animations perfectly, and how they made such great use out of the little tools that they had back then. And it had such a big impact on me that I actually made a game, a tactical versus game, in the StarCraft 2 editor. This was back in like 2011. I made a whole turn-based grid system with a turn order on the bottom left and AIs. This is me in an old video, real old video, explaining the game and how it works. And I made AI controllers, and I could just watch the AI play against each other. I even made it so the camera could rotate like Tactics. And for a long time, I had never really seen any tactical versus games, so I wanted to make it. But after I made it, I realized why. It's because just the 5-on-5, just placing a few units, and then having them go, hey, there's even a channeled ability that Templar just channeled Psystorm, and then it went off after a few turns. It was really cool, and I had really fun making it. Well, it was a pain in the ass to make it. StarCraft 2 editor really sucked, and StarCraft 2 in general kind of sucked because Blizzard made a lot of mistakes with it. But watching the NPC go at it, the PCs, the AI go at it against each other was cool for a while. It made me realize, though, that it's just not really dynamic enough. There wasn't a lot of play, counterplay, just having 5 pre-existing, or even if you choose 5 characters and put them in an arena. The gameplay, even though I added like 7 different abilities for each unit, and each unit can make 2 to 3 turns, or 2 to 3 actions per turn, it was still not really super dynamic, and the moves were kind of obvious ultimately, or they boiled down to just mathematical precision, just using as few movement points as you could, or keeping as max distance as you could. And I realized why there haven't been any really versus tactics games. It's because it's a bit too simple, and it didn't really have a prolonged enough dynamism to it to keep a lot of people's interest. And it wasn't enough skill definition, skill defining moments within the game. So I learned a lot though making it, and I came up with a bunch of changes that would have actually made it really good for a competitive online game. I actually have a whole huge MMO game design. Part of it's written down, part of it's in my head, of a mix between a tactical turn-based game, but also with a system that can use the same characters and RPG items and everything in a real-time system that is sort of like a MOBA. That can be sort of like a MOBA, but you're controlling 3 characters like in Remake and Rebirth. But I haven't made it because shortly after I made this, I actually messed up my shoulder really bad. Doing a lot of exercises because I'd been sitting around for long periods of time making this and doing other stuff. But just using the mouse a lot with the pseudocode in StarCraft 2 engine was pretty hard on it. And so I haven't really tried doing any more programming since then. Now, recently I started looking again into C++, and I had looked into Unreal Engine before a few years ago, but I never did anything with it. Super complicated, but it looks super cool. I've been reading into C++ recently, and it reminds me that programming and making stuff can actually be real fun. And I've been thinking, oh, maybe I'll try making it. But I have a lot of other projects to do before that. A lot of things I've been working on for a really long time that I really need to get to. Even though the design is really cool and it's the game I probably would want to see the most made out of any game nowadays, it's probably going to have to wait a little bit. But I think the plan now is to finish Remake, or I played Remake already, but go through Remake, go through Tactics, and then finally play Rebirth, which I haven't played yet. And that's going to be exciting. And then I'll make a few updated theory videos on it, because I've figured out a few more things, I think, and kind of recap some of the other stuff I'd said before, and basically cut it out of, I guess, clips from the stream that I'm going to make. And it's going to be a very heavy series of streams, very theory-heavy series of streams. Not so much tactics, because tactics story is pretty straightforward, well, at least once you complete it. There's a lot of mystery while it's playing, but afterwards, most of the stuff is explained. So for once I get to Remake and Rebirth, there'll be a lot of theory crafting and speculation. And then I will make a predictions video also too at some point after that, after I compile some of the clips into coherent videos. Because recently, the company that I was working for a subcontractor for a much larger company, and the subcontractor got laid off. So, I was thinking maybe, I have like 2 or 3 weeks maybe that I can just grind these out. But it looks like the contractor that's coming in is probably going to make me a work offer, which is good. I should take the work offer. But it's like, I was like, damn, I wanted to just grind out these playthroughs as fast as I could, and then make some videos about it before like any trailers come out for part 3. I heard speculation that Summer Games Fest is going to be some announcements, so like, shit, I gotta actually do this and play Rebirth before more stuff's announced, and make some predictions before a trailer happens, then maybe a few more afterwards. But if I'm going to continue working, then my stream's going to be relegated to maybe a few hours a day, like late in the day, because I work like 55 hours a week or so. And it's a dirty job, so I have to take a shower and make food and make my juice for the next day, make a special juice, make a special drink for myself. But that's the plan. Either I'm going to be able to not going to work for a little while and grind these out, or I'm going to be working and then streaming just in the evenings. If I'm not working, I'm going to be streaming most of the days for like 2 weeks straight, maybe 3 weeks, however long it takes me. I heard Rebirth takes like 100 hours or more, 150 hours even, and I'm going to play a lot of the minigame stuff. I'll get through Tactics quickly, I think. I'm going to play it on the hardest version, because once you understand the game, it's pretty easy. And I'm going to try to challenge myself to not do any extra training on my characters, or any extra like hitting my own characters, or any extra experience with JP gains. I'm not going to heal the enemy. And that's the plan for now. The music and everything in this game was amazing. Like, I just showed you the game I made inspired by Tactics, but this was a pretty huge game for me. Largely because the story was so serious, especially for a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. 10 is when I actually played through it and beat it. I think I quit because I didn't even know how to save the game. I didn't know what data was. I didn't know how to do anything on the PlayStation 1. So I faced many challenges. playing this the first time. And I had to restart several times, you know, on those specific levels that where you're deep into a dungeon and you're all of a sudden getting your ass kicked by Waygraph or Gafgarian or something. I don't know, actually, when I should do the birthday. When should I do the birthday? Pisces, Aries, what is that number by it? 26? 24? What is that number? 27. What's 27? What does that mean? I don't even know. Start.